Hello there. Wonderful view from here towards a whole load of mountains to the north. I'm in Killearn, and today we're going to walk to Blanefield. It's about 6 or 7 miles, not too far, and the walk will follow the course of the mid-19th century aqueduct that supplies drinking water to Glasgow. It pipes it all the way from Lochcatron into the city. Huge engineering undertaking. Most of it's underground and out of sight, but occasionally bits of it come to the surface in a flurry of stonework. And during today's walk we'll maybe have a kind of quick look at least one of those structures, because if you didn't know what they were a part of, you might have cause to wonder what on earth they were. This is a walk that I've done many times, and it's a walk that I just love. As well as following the course of the aqueduct, the track kind of sits at the foot of the Strathblane Hills, and the beautiful little hill of Dumgoyne pretty much dominates the whole walk. And yeah, such a beautiful little hill. So without further ado, let's be off. I have done this walk many times over a number of decades. It was once the case that some of the gates that you'll see that cross the path, at one time these weren't all opened. They were in fact locked, I believe, and you had to climb over the gate. It made you feel as if you maybe weren't meant to be there. But having seen a little Heritage Paths plaque way back there, you know, perhaps this has now been turned into a all singing, all dancing track, and there'll be no locked gates. If I find any locked gates, you'll be the first to know, let me assure you. Now, given that most of my videos seem to be about the countryside, I thought it was important to try to impart some knowledge of the sort of stuff you might see when you're out and about in the Scottish countryside. And to that end, this is a tree. And what a tree! It's just a very big old thing. I don't even know what sort of tree it is. And I don't want to know, to be honest. I'm not interested in the taxonomical names of all this stuff. It's just a big tree. That's all you need to know. And it'll be here long after you and me are gone. That's for certain. It's not difficult to see why this walk is just so enjoyable. There's just a whole mixture of things going on. Little quiet, secret wooded sections and sudden open bits where you can just see for miles. I mean, there's a whole load of mountains in that direction. You've got Scenic Hill, which is, for me, is probably the most recognisable bump in the landscape. You'll have Ben Lomond and other mountains in that direction. I can't quite point them out. It's a wee bit kind of hazy in that direction. And as I said earlier, we're also sitting right at the foot of the Strathblane Hills, and the Hill of Dungoyne's just there. And there's a wee bit of dark grey cloud at the moment, making it look a little bit menacing. It's just such a beautiful walk, this. Well, that's clearly one of the sections of the aqueduct just there, and as I say, it's mostly unseen and under buried. It's only kind of, we can only see it here because there's quite a deep gorge with a kind of waterway running through it, and it's clearly just crossing that. I suspect, I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's probably the original aqueduct and the original watercourse, dating to the mid-19th century. Because just on the other side of the track there, there's another one, and it's bearing the date 1892. And I know that the whole thing was done in two different phases. I think initially when they first created Glasgow's water supply and piped the water all the way from Loch Catron in the mid-19th century, after a while they found that they needed more water. There wasn't enough, I don't know, maybe the pipes weren't big enough, just the capacity was suddenly reached, and they wanted more water. So a second phase occurred, and I presume, I think it was just in the late 19th century, that bears the date 1892, so it must have been around about there, or then, rather. I passed an Asian chap there, and he was telling me that the last time he was on this track, his cat followed him and his family, obviously get out for a wee walk, but at some point around about this area the cat disappeared, and he's never seen it again or found it. A bit of a shame, The cat's kind of quite it's off-white, it's kind of sort of whitish, greyish, big fluffy kind of cat. It's called Chi-Chi. Yeah, it's chipped and stuff. ever you was to see a cat out this way, might be that one. Such a shame. I remember years ago, walking from Mulgai, I was just out for a walk. I started in the West Island Way. I was maybe heading out this way, in fact. And an Alsatian dog at Mulgai suddenly appeared. And although it wasn't making itself that obvious, over a period of time it became clear to me that it was following me. And we suddenly just, all of a sudden, we were both out for a walk. But I had to turn back at one point because I'd reached the main road and I was a little bit concerned for its well-being, you know, so I thought I better just turn back here. Headed back to Aqueduct Country Park and the old stables there. I managed to get a leash for it and I fed it a bit of my sandwich, as you do. And but then after, in heading back towards Mulgai, I realised this dog needed to be free. So I removed the leash from it, and it was with me for a wee while. But then as I get closer to Mulgai, and it just disappeared. And I've always wondered if that dog was all right. You know, one of these things you never forget. So I'd like to think the man finds his cat again. Yeah. A rather fascinating gate mechanism, I think you will agree. I'd be guessing if I said it probably dates to the late 19th century in the second phase of the waterworks, but I don't know for certain. It's one of these kind of devices that it's like taps in pub toilets. You don't know whether to push, pull, turn or just wave your hands in front of it for it to work. I mean, there's a spring here, and I don't know whether you push up or pull down. But I suspect it's not working as well as it should, and I've actually already been through it, so I know. it needs a wee bit of assistance. I mean, you could think it's just not working at all, but if you just give this little thing just a little, while you're, in fact, wait a minute, in fact, if you just, right, I almost had to lift the gate, but once you take the kind of, the pressure off this latch, if you just lift it, it will come up. And if you look at it now, it's quite obvious that if it had been working properly, you would just push down on it, which makes you wonder why it's got this little ring here, which does give the impression that you might have to pull it up. Anyway, and you should have brought some WD-40 or 3-in-1 oil. The next person that comes through there will wonder quite a lot about exactly how that works, that's for certain. Well, I have to say that lived up to all my expectations. Just wonderful. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And we can still see the little hill of Dungoyne there. I've only been up that hill once. I remember the approach from this side, it's actually quite steep. And this is a walk that you can do either way. I'm probably more used to starting at Blanefield and ending at Killearn because most of the views seem to be in that direction. And today, for some reason, I decided to do it this way, ending in Blanefield. And it's just so nice to get out into the countryside for a wee donder and blow away cobwebs. Because I've had quite a lot of cobwebs recently. I'm Eddie Burns. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'll see you again.
When stars were bright, standing by the well, without a hope of heaven, without a hope in hell, so still and deep my soul to keep, waiting by the phone, like waiting on paint drying and turning into stone. Don't leave me standing in the darkest night. Don't leave me standing all alone, with no voice and with no choice, thinking of the day when no words will keep me on my feet, appoint me on the way. The silence dark, it breaks my heart, take me to